What's up guys? Welcome back to our channel. Today's video is going to be covering my experience, tips, and life before, during, and after West Point.
Let's get started. So basically this video is just Kat talking, me.
Oh yeah, interesting.
Wow. And hanging out with Stuart. Let's go.
Alright, so before I went to West Point, I was playing tennis professionally. I was about 18 years old. I had already been playing on the tour for some time. I had reached my highest ranking of 158 in the world.
Wow.
Ooh. and there came a point where I had to decide whether to go to college or to continue playing pro.
Mm-hmm.
And given the fact that my dad served in the military for 8 years, so I kind of had that army background, and that's kind of how he raised me. I had that passion for army as well as tennis. So I thought to myself, hey, why don't I go to somewhere that I can do both? So I decided to go to West Point. So during West Point, as some of you may know, I went to prep school, which is like a junior college, because I didn't have any credits or anything like that since I was homeschooled most of my life due to tennis. So I had to go to prep school in order to get enough credits to get into the main military academy. When you first get to West Point for the prep school, you have to do a 3-week CCBT program, which is Cadet Candidate Basic Training, which is United States Military Academy's mini BEAST, basically, because BEAST consists of 6 weeks, and we only had to do 3 weeks. But basically, it's a bunch of military training, learning how to shoot guns, learning how to do land navigation, learning how to do field training, learning all the leadership roles, all of that stuff. It was basically 3 weeks of brainwashing because we had to wake up at 5:30 in the morning, do our formations, do all the training. You weren't allowed to nap, you weren't really allowed to talk. During lunch, during breakfast, during dinner, you weren't allowed to talk, you weren't allowed to look up, you could only look at your plate. So it was like very strict every day for 3 weeks. There was not one day where it was kind of easy, you know? So basically we were awake from 5:30 in the morning all the way to 10 p.m. with no break. It was just straight up hardcore training. Once the school year started, it definitely got easier. The formations weren't as early, definitely more leeway. We could talk when you were at lunch, breakfast, dinner, all that stuff. Didn't have to do pull-ups before lunch, didn't have to do all these crazy push-ups and sit-ups that they make you do in CCBT, so definitely more of a normal academic school year experience, but still mixed in with that military training. Everything was still very like yes sir, no sir, yes sergeant, no sergeant. Anytime you saw anyone that was ranked or anything like that, you still kind of had those traits that you had learned through CCBT kind of rolling over to the academic year. The discipline definitely didn't go away, but it definitely lessened.
Mm-hmm.
So in prep school, the only courses that you had to do were math, English, science, and Center of Enhanced Performance.
What is that?
Center of Enhanced Performance,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like psychology with a mix of military.
Okay.
So military psychology, basically. Life development, all that kind of stuff. Teaching you how to be a leader, basically.
Okay.
Each classroom had no more than 15 kids a class, so it was very like one-on-one attention. It wasn't like 30 of us in a class or 40 of us in a class, which is like normal college, even more.
Mm-hmm.
So it was much easier to learn and ask questions and not be shy and any of that. Another really cool thing about use maps is that you have to be on a team. Doesn't matter if it's the chess team or if it's the tennis team. You had to be on a team because you needed to do an extracurricular activity. That's something that gave you a little bit of space and free time from all the craziness, juggling the military training, juggling the academic part of it, and juggling the sport part of it. A funny thing that happened once the academic year started is that, like I said in CCBT, there was no sort of napping or break at all. You weren't really allowed to nap during the academic year either, but we would always get caught like napping in our closet. And like if you got in trouble, they would flip your room or make you do push-ups or something stupid like that. I definitely got caught once or twice doing that. But it's hard not to. You're awake from 6:30 in the morning and you can't close your eyes until 10 p.m. It's just you're not allowed to. So can you imagine every single day? That's tough.
That is tough. I can't do it.
One thing that's not too good about USMA and USMAPs in general is that you only get a certain amount of holiday leave, which means that you're allowed to like leave the premises. And you do get paid for it, which is okay, but it's so like rare that it's tough. I mean, you get Thanksgiving, you get Christmas, you get spring break, but like all those little holidays like Martin Luther King Jr. Day, like there's no school, but you have to stay in the barracks, you know. So there's not that much free time when you are at this academy. So after West Point, which is what a lot of you have asked me, I did leave West Point after about 10-11 months because I was not allowed to play on the tennis team due to NCAA rules because I had an agent before getting into West Point, which I don't really know the specifications of the rules. I tried to argue with NCAAs about it, but couldn't really get through to them. But yeah, I had missed tennis a lot. I hadn't played for months, and you know, I had just reached my highest ranking of 158 in the world. You know, it's hard not to miss tennis. I tried to keep tennis away, and I said, okay, fine, let me just focus on the academics because that school is, to me, the best school in the country. So I did my best to just be a soldier and a student, but I missed tennis so much. And I remember one day in the cafeteria, I was sitting with all my friends facing the TV, and the US Open was on. And I was like, damn, I could be there right now, you know? Not that I didn't like where I was, but I could see where I could have been, you know? So seeing that and the NCAAs happening, I decided to come back to tennis and to start professionally again. So here are some tips that I would give you from my experience as well as other cadets' experiences of getting through West Point.
Tip number 1. I was dying to talk in the whole video.
Alright, tip number 1 is definitely rely on your friends. But with that being said, there's a lot of people that are snakes over there and fake friends because the academic system is based off of who is the better student. So if you're better than I am, at the end of your career, when you get to choose whether you want to be infantry or field artillery and you want to be stationed in Hawaii or Germany, if you're higher ranked academically than I am, you'll get your spot more likely than I will.
Okay.
So there's a lot of people that try to, you know, attack you and try to get you in trouble.
Nice.
No, it's not nice at all. And you would think that that wouldn't happen since it's such a team-oriented academy, but it's crazy how much they take advantage and want to like beat you down. But if you do find the right friends, which I luckily did, you can have the best time of your life there, which I did.
Aw. Shout out to all her West Point friends. Tip number 2.
Alright, tip number 2 is don't think that you're above anyone else in terms of being a West Point cadet and in terms of being an upperclassman. Upperclassmen kind of feel like they have this power to belittle the lower class because they have a higher rank, they have more opportunities, they have more leeway. But remember that they're human beings too.
And they start, like you started where they started.
Right, exactly. Everyone starts where you start. And for us that were in prep school, we started at the bottom. So, I mean, everyone is there trying to do the same thing, you know, trying to reach that one goal. And they have all the same, you know, beliefs that you do. So don't treat them any lesser than what you are.
Tip number 3.
Tip number 3 is it's going to suck while you're there. So just accept it because it's gonna suck. They make you do stupid things. It's all for a reason. It's normally for brainwashing, the stupid things. But it's a lot of things that you're gonna have to go through and learn anyway. They're teaching you how to deal with life, and they're definitely teaching you how to deal with stupid things. So just go through it. Everyone goes through it. Just remember that it's not only you that's going through the stupid things. It's everyone going through the stupid things. So just accept it, just do it, shut up and do it, and just move on.
Tip number 4.
Alright, tip number 4 is to control what you can and to plan ahead. What I mean by that, control what you can, control your attitude. control your leave, like your holiday leaves, all of that stuff. You need to plan ahead for that because you get so little of those that you need to buy the ticket in advance when it's cheap, because you don't get paid that much there. You get paid what, like $100 a month? That's nothing. So save up, plan ahead, control your attitude, control your time, like control everything that you can, because there's gonna be a lot of things you can't control. You can go through West Point perfect. I mean, you can go through what you think you didn't make a mistake not once in your whole West Point life, but you will get in trouble at least once, just so that they can teach you a lesson. And the lesson may be, hey, you think everything's going your way? Well, to me it's not, so here you go. And they might give you hours to walk back and forth, back and forth. So if you make it through West Point without getting 1 hour, that's basically almost impossible. So like I said, just control what you can and plan ahead.
Tip number 5.
Tip number 5, which is probably the most important one, is time management. Academics, military training, and your sport is the hardest thing to juggle at West Point. I mean, they give you so much homework. It's not necessarily the hardest homework, but they give you a lot of it because they're putting you under stress on purpose, because they want to teach you time management. So the quicker you learn that, the easier your life will be, because that is something that I noticed that people struggled with a lot in the beginning. And luckily through tennis, I already had that skill. Maybe not as good as when I left West Point, but definitely better than when I first started with compared to other people. So time management, for sure, is a huge must over there.
Tip number 6.
Tip number 6 is, if you're gonna do something stupid, do it smartly. And that's something a lot of the sergeants say and a lot of the captains say over there, because we're all kids still. We're still in college. Like, just because we're in a military academy doesn't mean we're like super like yes, no, you know? Like, we're still kids inside. So we're gonna do stupid things. But if you're gonna do something stupid, do it smartly. Don't get caught. And if you get caught, have a story to tell.
And be nice.
And be nice. Because you're gonna get in a lot of trouble. So just do it smartly.
Tip number 7.
Alright, tip number 7 is don't let anyone push you around. Like I said, the upperclassmen tend to belittle the lowerclassmen. So stand up for yourself, because actually they'll respect you for that. And some people might react negatively to it and get you in trouble and tattletale on you, which is totally normal, but it's better to be respected, to stand up for yourself, rather than let someone bully you and then they'll say, hey, this guy's easy to pick on, you know?
Oh God, don't let somebody pick on you.
Don't let anyone pick on you. You gotta stand up for yourself, and that's how you're a lead, become a leader as well. Like, you gotta stand up for yourself. You gotta be the strongest one out there in your pack. So definitely learn that. You will definitely learn that through there, and you better learn it quick, because if not, you're gonna get bullied a lot more than you need to. So don't let anyone push you around.
Tip number 8.
Tip number 8 is to use your classmates and your friends for academics. Like I said, a lot of the homework is not hard, but it's a lot of homework. And it's easier to get it done in groups than it is by yourself. Don't be afraid to ask for tutoring. The teachers are there all night. I use tutoring like the Bible over there.
That's good.
Yeah, not because I necessarily needed it, but the quicker I learned things, the quicker I got my homework done, the more free time I had, the less stress I had. And I did a lot of homework in groups with friends, and we got it done in like an hour, rather than by yourself it might take 5, and then the next assignment might take 5. You don't need to do all that. Use your classmates, use your friends, use the teachers, use the tutoring.
Tip number 9.
Tip number 9, and the last tip, is to just have fun. It's college. It's a military college, yeah, whatever, but it's still college. You get to go out on the weekends with your friends. I did that a lot. You get to go out to restaurants. I had spring break with all my friends. I had holidays with my friends, you know? So it's still a college experience. Don't forget that. And it's really fun if you make it fun.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.
We hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, turn on your notifications.
Share.
And share.
All right, guys. Thank you.